Shout out to the Madden mod community for posting this mod on Discord. 2017 was a bit of time ago, 8 years ago. And in 2017, we had greats like Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Phillip Rivers, Big Ben, Wency Boy, the Car Machine, the Breeze, the Newton, the Stafford, the Golf when he played for the Rams, Alex Smith, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, etc. I'm going to go through some of these rosters just to take a look at what they looked like back in 2017 to see some old players. Again, shout out to the Madden mod community Discord for posting this mod. I believe this is in beta right now, but absolutely all parts go out to them. Could not have done this video without them, so absolutely love it. If you have not joined the Madden mod Discord yet, they're on Twitter. You just go to the Twitter and then you just go ahead and click on the Discord invite and you just join. It's a very simple, easy process. They have a community tab where they post mods, and that's where you can get some of the mods. Most of the mods I create in my videos, I create myself, but some of them are on there. So whenever I use a mod from the Discord, I try my best to always give credit where credit's due. You can never see the full name of the people who post on there. So for example, I believe the guy who posted this mod, it just says W on my end when I click on his profile. So shout out to W. I think his name's like Wee something, but I'm not sure. But shout out to him for that again. Like I said before, absolutely legendary. Packers when they had Aaron Rodgers. So weird to think about that at this point. Like Packers with Aaron Rodgers. It's been so long. Khalil Mack on the Raiders. Lynch on the freaking Lynch on the Raiders as well. Terrell Suggs, Mike Wallace on the Ravens. Oh my lordy. I love doing these older videos because I kind of forget some of these rosters, and then I go back and look through them and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that guy was on that team. Because I might remember someone from a different team and then realize, oh yeah, they were at what point on that team. Remember when Lamar Miller was like the best running back? Not the best, but he was like a top 10 running back. It's insane to think about. Back in the day, man. Stephon Diggs when he was with the Vikings. And obviously then the whole situation happened and left. Let's get right into this though. So I think right away, back in 2017, did we have any weird stadiums names? Wait, what am I thinking about? Not weird stadium names. Well, like teams that weren't technically the teams now. Like the Rams, they moved. No, they moved before 2017, right? So NFC West. Yeah, so they were still. Oh no, they were LA. I think they moved in 2012 actually. The Raiders should still be the Oakland. 2017. Yeah, Raiders are still Oakland Raiders. Okay, so they're still the Oakland Raiders. Let's go ahead, though, and skip forward to... Well, let's go to the playoffs. Let's go to the playoffs, and let's see what ends up happening. Back in 2017, by the way, we do have updated draft classes, so we're going to see real-life draft classes of players getting drafted certain places. But back in 2017, who was the Super Bowl champion? That was the Eagles Super Bowl, I believe. Eagles versus Patriots. So the Eagles were dominant. Yeah, the Eagles should be dominant. Okay, so playoff brackets. Chargers are number 2. Ravens number 3. 4 are the Jags. This is back when the Jags were dominant. 5 are the Steelers. 6 is the Bills. And 7 is the Broncos. The Rams are dominant. The Packers are dominant. Okay, hold up. See, the thing is, think about trying to think back in the day where teams were. And for the NFC wise, the Falcons being dominant is not surprising. Panthers sucked. Well, they didn't suck, but they weren't that great. The Cardinals sucked. Giants sucked and Bears sucked. And also at the time, are the Redskins or are they they are the Redskins still. So this is before they became the Commanders, and this is still under Dan Snyder. So the worst team in football is 3-13 Brownies, which 2017 is not surprising that they sucked. Why did this team go 14-2? Oh wait, 2017 we didn't have 17 game schedules, did we? We didn't. So 10-6. Oh yeah, this is gonna completely throw me for a loop. So back in 2017, we didn't have 17 game schedules. We only had 16 games. So that's why that situation is where it's at. Sam Darnold, Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Bradley Chubb, Josh Rosen, Quentin Nelson. Wow. Yeah, this is a very interesting draft class, to say the least. We got Connor Williams, Mike Hayden Hurst. Wait, was this the 2018 with Lamar Jackson? Yeah, this was Lamar Jackson draft class. Wow. Okay. So we're about to see where these players end up going. And Mark Andrews was his draft class too. He was the fourth round. Well, he ended up being, I think, third round pick for the Ravens. But the Ravens picked Hurst, Lamar Jackson, and Mark Andrews in that same draft. Hayden Hurst ended up leaving, going to the Bengals eventually, where obviously he was our guy. Then he left us, went to the Falcons. What I do need to do is I need to set this up to auto, because I don't want to mess with anything. I want to see, we're just kind of seeing where things happen, okay? Let me actually go to stats. What am I doing? My bad. All right, so let's go to stats real fast and see where everything is headed. So Russell Wilson, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Okay, Alex Smith led the league in passing yards. He had 50 passing touchdowns. Lordy. Okay. Rivers had the most interceptions. Matt Ryan, number 2. Drew Brees, number 3. Wait, 2017. That means the Chiefs. Alex Smith was MVP. That's interesting. But that means, if I'm right, they had Patrick Mahomes. Right? The, Alex Collins was the best running back in the league. Bro, ain't no way. So the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes because they drafted him in 2017. And 2017 was the last year of Alex Smith before the Chiefs got him. I mean, before they traded him. And they went with Patrick Mahomes. So if I'm correct, the Seahawks, Chiefs, yes, they do have Patrick Mahomes. They have rookie Patrick Mahomes. That's weird to say now, after everything's said and done, but alright. Shout out to that fact. We got the Pro Bowl, which is always weird how we can't, I don't know why we can't play the Pro Bowl. That's another factor I wish you could do in franchise mode. Alright, Super Bowl between the Rams and the Broncos. That's an interesting Super Bowl matchup. Let's go to league history, and we're going to look at schedules in a second. Todd Gurley was MVP. So the LA Rams beats the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. Go to schedules. Playoff, here we go. So the Broncos beat the Chargers. Bills beat the Ravens. Jags beat the Steelers. The Bills end up beating the Jags. The Patriots lose to the Broncos. Broncos-Bills championship. Falcons-Rams championship. And the Super Bowl champion ends up being none other than the St. Louis Rams. Well, LA Rams, excuse me. Alright, so let's skip forward to free agency. Okay, let me get out of this thing. There we go. Alright, so let's skip forward to free agency and see who's actually on free agency. My guess... I can't... Okay, this is a problem. Okay, so I have to get out of this and turn back on free agency so I can actually see free agency. Oh, else it won't let me see this. So let me skip forward 1 week. And now it should let me see free agency. So let me go to sign free agents. Who already signed? Sheldon Richardson went to the Saints. Dontario Poe went to the Panthers. Sammy Watkins went to the Titans. Okay. Kirko Cousins went to the Giants. Lordy. That's an interesting signing right there. Who's still available? Bowman, the old 49ers legend. The old Bengals legend, Bernard. Actually, another Bengals legend. Well, not legend, but another Bengals player, Andre Smith. Slaw Lutatei, the old Panthers defensive tackle. Sharif Floyd, I believe he played for the Bears, I want to say. Carlos Hyde, the 49er. Wow, some of these guys, man. I'm just getting like a blast from the past. Lynch is a free agent. Bro, you gotta sign beast mode. Skittles. Alright, let's go to the draft. Actually, before we go to draft, let me cancel simulation. Crap, I skipped past free agency recap. Now, I think I can see it if I go to transaction history. Yeah, I can. Okay, so Josh Allen, right guard, went to the Giants. Jeremy Maclin went to the Jets. Lordy. Brandon Coleman went to the Giants. Ryan Tannehill went to the Jets. All right, that Ryan Tannehill action, apparently. Garrett Grayson went to the Falcons. Colin Kaepernick to the Jets as well. Jets went Kirko and Kaepernick. Joy Edelman went to the Niners. Torrey Smith, the old Ravens wide receiver, he goes to the Bills. Lynch goes to the Falcons. Michael Crabtree goes to the Skins. Cordell Patterson goes to the Bears back when he was younger. Not as old nowadays. Brock Osweiler goes to the Dolphins, the old Texans/Broncos legend. I keep calling everyone a legend, and these guys, most of these guys are not legends, but I keep calling them legends. All right, so let's get to the draft. Start drafting. Okay, hold up. Pause draft. First pick overall by the Cleveland Brownies, Saquon Barkley. Pick number 2 by the New York Giants, Joshua Allen. Sam Darnold, pick number 3. Bradley Chubb, pick number 4. 5 is Baker Mayfield. 6 is Lamar Jackson. 7 is Marcus Davenport. 8 is Roquan Smith. 9 is Denzel Ward. 10 is Josh Rosen. 11 is Josh Jackson. 12 is Calvin Ridley. Quentin Nelson. Jaheir Alexander. We have Mike McGlinchey. We have Jermaine Edmonds. We have Derwin James. Vita Vea. Harnard Landry. Leighton Vander Esch. We have Deron Payne. We have Cortland Sutton. Colton Miller. Maurice Hurst. DJ Moore, and Isaiah Wynn. So I'm just going to sim the rest of this draft, and we're going to look at it from the recap screen, because it's a lot easier looking at it that way. So let's just skip through this draft, and then we'll go through all these picks here. So let's go to draft recap. And let's go through each round. So first pick, like I said before, was Saquon Barkley, then Josh Allen. Okay, so we got Marcus Davenport, Roquan Smith. Denzel Ward goes to the Vikings. Rosen, you know what? Rosen, at the time that they drafted him here, 2017, Shanahan is not on, I don't believe he's on the Falcons. I think he's still on the Falcons, I believe. Yeah, I believe he's still on the Falcons. So he's not on the 49ers. So this would actually probably not work out in the end. But who knows? Anyway, though, Derwin James on the Lions, that's crazy work. We got DJ Moore goes to the Jaguars. Hayden Hurst goes to the Rams. So it's funny Hayden Hurst ends up still being a first-round pick, even though... Oh, Gesicki still goes to the Dolphins. That's cool. But even though, reality-wise, if you're looking back, the Ohio kid goes to the Panthers. That hurts. That hurts, man. Want him back on the Bengals. Anyway, as I was saying, though, it's funny how Hayden Hurst, even in a redraft, he still goes first round. You know, let's be honest, he's really not that great. He's not a first round pick. If you look back and you say, like, where would you take Hayden Hurst based on his production in his career? He's probably like a solid 4th, 5th round pick. Maybe like a 3rd round pick. So I don't think he would be that. Kappa goes to the Ravens. He obviously goes to the Bucks in real life and then ends up on the Bengals, which, don't love that pick. He definitely had a bad season this last year. So MVS goes late in that draft. Okay. Think about some of these later overall picks. I feel like we just don't remember because a lot of these guys end up being practice squad guys, or they just don't make the team across the board. Some of them do, some of them do not. But who's the last pick in the draft is the question. Bryce Johnson. Look at that man with the glasses and everything. I love when players have glasses on. It's because from someone who wears glasses, okay, it's nice to see other people wearing glasses as well. It gives you that nice, like, you know what? I'm not alone. I might be a nerd, but you know what? I'm a nerd who plays video games for a living. I'm a nerd who plays video games for a living, bro, okay? Let me live. Let me live. All right, so we had what? Rams won our first Super Bowl. Who's going to win this Super Bowl? And also, who's the 2019 draft? 2019 draft is the Myles Garrett draft. I don't know what that means, but that's the Myles Garrett draft. It's also the Deshaun Watson draft, I believe, right? Hold up. 2019, I think it's the Deshaun Watson and it's the Baker Mayfield draft. No, Deshaun Watson was the Mahomes draft. What am I saying? Yeah, no, Deshaun Watson was the Mahomes draft. Nick Bosa, Kyler Murray. It wasn't the Garrett draft. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was a Garrett draft. All right, so it was the rest in peace Haskins draft. So it was that draft actually. Let me go by. I'm just gonna go through these like I did before. It was the DK Metcalf draft. Was that AJ Brown draft too? Yeah, that's the AJ Brown draft. The Hawkins Sox. It was the Jonah Williams draft. Yeah, 2019 was Jonah. 2020 was Joe Burrow. 2021 was Jamar Chase for the Bengals. That is. 2022 was Wait, hold up. 2022 was Dax Hill. 2023 was Miles Murphy. And 2024 now is Amarius Mims. So, yeah. Let's just see how this goes. The best team in football, the Squealers. Packers number 2. Okay. Going down this list here. Not bad. Cardinals, worst team in football. That's not surprising. That is when they had Kyler Murray, though, which I guess a little bit surprising. Hey, my Bengals made the playoffs as 7th seed. This will be a year before they get Joe Shiesty. But in this draft, it's very possible. I mean, this league, it's very possible they don't get Joe Shiesty. That's also a very possibility. Russell Wilson wins MVP. Cam Newton's still good. Although Cam Newton would actually not be good in this franchise. He fell after the Super Bowl year, where they went to Super Bowl in 2015, lost to the Broncos. Following that year, he actually really messed up his shoulder, and he would never be the same NFL player again. After 2015, and they were taking headshots on the guy. They were destroying him. They wouldn't call anything against. Like, they were not protecting Cam Newton in any way possible. But they, after 2015, his shoulder would get messed up, and he would never be the same quarterback. But Josh Allen for the Giants had the most passing yards of any quarterback. Drew Brees had the most passing touchdowns. Blake Bortles! Blake Bortles on the Jags. I remember that. I think I love that way too much. Le'Veon Bell, leading rusher, 12 touchdowns. Zeke Elliott with the Cowboys. I just realized the first season I didn't look at the stats for anyone but quarterback. I apologize for that. I don't know why I didn't look at stats for anyone but quarterback the first season. That was an L on my part. Not sure why I did not look up stats on anyone but quarterback that first season. 7 interceptions, okay, sacks. Nice. All right, let's see who's in the Super Bowl. Let's see who ends up getting there. Vance. Here we go. All right, Cowboys versus Seahawks. Well, we know this isn't realistic because the Cowboys actually won a game in the playoffs, which, you know, that does not happen. Super Bowl ends up being the Cowboys versus Broncos. So Broncos making it yet again. Last year losing to the Rams. This year making it back to the Super Bowl. So let's see how that ends up turning out. And this time it ends up being the Broncos win. So the Broncos win in 2015. Von Miller wins MVP in 2015. And he also wins it in 2018, it looks like. So 3 years apart. The rookie of the year for the offense, for the Jets is Lamar Jackson, quarterback. So Lamar Jackson wins MVP. That's about right. That's about right. All right, let's go through and let's go ahead and go to free agents. Who is available at free agency? Marquise Goodwin. Okay. Marcus Mariota. Drew Brees is a free agent. We got Bowman is a free agent again. Ty Montgomery, the wide receiver playing running back. I always found that one guy interesting. He went to the Ravens for like a stick of time, and I always found that fun. All right, let's go to the draft. There wasn't really any good free agents there that I really care about, wherever they signed. All right, so let's get into the draft. And as always, we're just going to skip through this whole draft here. So we're just going to go ahead and go to the end so we can take a look at who went where. I think I saw Nick Bosa was picked number 1, which, let's be honest, I think makes all the logical sense in the world. All right, so Nick Bosa picked number 1 to the Cardinals. Montez Sweat. Kyler Murray. Okay, so why did I think Kyler Murray was already on the Cardinals? So Kyler Murray was not already on the Cardinals. Interesting. A.J. Brown to the Jets. That's an interesting one. Josh Jacobs to the Cowboys. See, what's interesting about that is Zeke Elliott is still very successful for the Cowboys in this franchise. So the fact that they went ahead and said, you know what, who else should we get? Let's go ahead and go get freaking Josh Jacobs. That's an interesting play by the Cowboys. Some would say 1,000 IQ play. I would say 0 IQ play because it didn't really make sense. Mad Max Crosby is end of the third round to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hate that team so much for getting Mad Max Crosby in this franchise. I know this is fake and this is a fake franchise, but I don't care. I hate them even more because he is so freaking good, and I can't imagine him on that Steelers defense. Especially 2017. That would be, I think 2019 was the year the Steelers end up going 11-0 and then losing the rest of the year, and then Browns beat them in the playoffs. So, all right, who's the last pick in this draft is my question. Who is Mr. Irrelevant? Yet again. Chandler Cox. Chandler apparently got some big cocks. All right. Who's going to be our Super Bowl champion of the world? If I had to guess, I mean, the Broncos made it the last 2 years in this franchise. I think they're going to make it again. I think the Broncos make it again, but I think they're going to lose. I'm going to say they lose to the Rams again. I think they lose to the Rams again. I think the Rams make another comeback city here. All right, so what draft am I on? I'm on the 2019 draft, I believe, right? Yeah. 2019 season, 2019 draft. Okay, so let's see who's in the playoffs. Who makes it? The Rams made it at 6 seed. The Broncos 7 seed. So, hey, listen, Super Bowl hangover is a real thing. And sometimes you can't get over the Super Bowl hangover. So, sometimes you just got to accept the fact that you take the L. Kyler Murray was the best quarterback for the Ravens. Matt Ryan, most touchdowns at least. Yeah, who needs Nick Chubb when you got Saquon Barkley on the freaking Brownies? That's a fun fact. Alright, let's go to rushing real fast. I want to look at most rushing touchdowns. Isaiah Crowell. Okay. Who had the most receiving? Alshon Jeffrey. Not the Bears, but the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a fun. Russell Wilson MVP again. How did that man keep winning MVP? Myles Garrett on the Brownies. Okay. Taylor Rapp on the Brownies winning an award is weird. Aaron Donald on the Rams. Bro, who let Aaron Donald back on the Rams? No, wait, no. He got drafted way before this franchise started. Why isn't there a punter award? There needs to be a punter award in Madden. That needs to be a thing as well. There needs to be some more love for the punter. Alright, I do have to go ahead and put in the actual draft thing here. So, let's go to import local files. And let's go to Madden 19. I don't know why Madden 20 is not there. Wait, what am I doing? No, I messed this up. Okay, so if you ever mess it up, all you have to do is do that and import local files again. Madden 20 is there. Okay, so it's Madden 20, not Madden 19 draft. Excuse me. Whatever. Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, Andrew Thomas, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert. Okay. Henry Ruggs. Yikes. Justin Jefferson draft. Okay, not bad, not bad. T. Higgins draft, yup. We would get Joe Burrow and T. Higgins in the same draft with Logan Wilson. So that's what you call winning. All right, Super Bowl between the Ravens and Falcons. Broncos would actually lose in the first round, and well, the Rams actually made it to the second round. No, the Rams made it to the NFC Championship game, and then they lost. So I had faith that the Rams would go all the way, and they almost did, but then lost. So Falcons end up losing to the Ravens. Ravens win with Tony Jefferson, who at the time would not be on their team. He would be on the Cardinals, but ends up going to their team in the end. He's actually still in the league. He's on the Chargers right now, which I found crazy insane that Tony Jefferson is actually still in the league. Like, bro, cool, but weird at the same time. All right, any good free agents available? Andrew Norwell. I feel like this free agent class, I don't know. DJ Reader, ooh, ex-Cincinnati Bengal, ex-Houston Texan as well. Nice to see that. Oh, I don't know why, I thought that was Haloti Ngata. I was like, bro, how is Haloti Ngata still in this game? He was simply not in this game. All right, so let me skip the draft, and we're just going to see where everybody goes. Where will my Burrow go? My Joe Burrow, my Joe Shiesty. It's like the only quarterback who actually didn't skip the Pro Bowl this year. Every other quarterback, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they all skipped the Pro Bowl. Chase Young, first overall pick to the Dolphins. Hey, let's go, baby! Yes! Daddy's home. Daddy came back home. He got the milk and everything. I love it. I love it, man. Patrick Queen to the Lions is kind of diabolical. Henry Ruggs to the Panthers. Oh, man. Broncos got CeeDee Lamb. Jordan Love goes to the Falcons instead of the Packers. Yo, hold up. The Bengals got Joe Burrow and Justin Jefferson. And there's still a chance that they could get Logan Wilson goes to the Panthers. There's still a chance they could get Jamar Chase in next year. Keyshawn Vaughn. Okay. Hold up. I might have to look at that Bengals squad for, business reasons. Because I actually kind of like where they're headed. That actually works out so well. So they didn't get T. Higgins in this draft. So instead of going T. Higgins, they go with Justin Jefferson instead. So if history repeats itself, they could have Justin, instead of T. Higgins, they would have Justin Jefferson on one side and Jamar Chase on the other. That's kind of low-key broken. And by low-key, I mean absolute high-key. That is broken as heck. To have those two guys on the same side. On the same team, bro. Alright, hold up. What did that Bengals squad look like? What are they building over there in Cincinnati? They got Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, and Andy Dalton. And Jake Browning. Joe Mixon and Keyshawn Vaughn. AJ Green, John Ross, Justin Jefferson, Joe Reed. Okay, Tyler Eifert. Their line is actually borderline okay. Defensively. Oh, they don't have a left end. Okay. They don't have a left end. They have Roquan Smith at left outside linebacker. Vontaze Burfict still, and Devin Bush. They got, okay, that was actually not that bad of a draft. For them, I know we're not doing the Bengals here, but it's actually that's a pretty good freaking transition, man. You go from Tom Brady to Joe Burrow. I think Tom just joined them last year, but they still had the second overall pick, so clearly it didn't help. Didn't help that they got, Shiesty. I mean, it didn't help that they had Tom Brady because clearly it didn't change much of anything. They were still a bad team, but okay. That's a thing. All right, so let's see how this one goes. I got to do the 2021 NFL draft class after this. All right, so first thing first, let me get the draft class in there. So 2021. This is the T-Law draft class. Zach Wilson. Jamar Chase draft class. Oh, come on, baby. Actually, what am I doing? Actually, yeah, let's go through all the prospects first. Like I've been doing. Micah Parsons, Mac Jones, Kadarius Toney draft class. Rashad Bateman, he ends up going first round in real life to the Ravens. Odafe Oweh goes to the Ravens as well. That was a good draft, man. There's some of these drafts you look back and you're like, that was a good draft. Some of them you're like, not really. But some of them they are. Who wins MVP? Josh Allen for the Giants. Joshua Allen. All right. I don't know how I feel about it, but I guess that's a decent option there. All right. And then we got the best quarterback is Dak Prescott for the Cowboys. Hold up. Okay, 4 years, guy. 43 touchdowns for Josh Allen. Big Ben has the most interceptions. He's kind of on his way out as always. Usually what happens at this time period is he's kind of on his way out and he just isn't really that great anymore. Which, hey, listen, it is weird seeing quarterbacks slowly flop over the years and get worse and worse and eventually just kind of pivot downward to the endless spiral that is the NFL curse. All right. Let me go to standings. 16-1 Eagles. Eagles could not find themselves in a Super Bowl there. Anyway, though, 2-15 Dolphins. So they don't go Joe Burrow. They go Chase Young instead of Joe Burrow, and now they're in the spot they're in. It's kind of one of those situations where it's like you made your bed, now you got to sleep in it. That's exactly what happened with the Dolphins. They had a chance at Joe Shiesty. Instead, they go away from it, and now they're in the bed that they made. Can't be doing that, bro. Can't be doing that. All right. Rams Broncos Super Bowl again. I feel like that's so ugh. Who wanted the Rams Broncos Super Bowl again? The Rams beat them twice. Jared Goff beat them twice in the Super Bowl. That's an interesting Super Bowl. Again, same one twice. All right. Well, you know what? Listen, just like we're saying in real life right now with the whole situation, I don't think anybody likes repeat Super Bowls. Let's be honest. If we're all being honest here, nobody looks at repeat Super Bowls and enjoy them. I mean, I think we all understand that this is kind of a part of life, is there's going to be repeat Super Bowls, but I don't think anybody likes them. All right, let's go to the actual draft. Free agency, every single one here has been awful. There's been no good free agent drafts. I mean, free agency classes here. They've all been freaking buns. All right, where does Jamar Chase go? The Bengals get Jamar Chase, bro. That's going to be the big one. All right, so Jalen Waddle, pick number 1. Chase is pick number 11. But Jalen Waddle does go to the Dolphins, so T-Law to the Saints, Zach Wilson to the Lions, Devonta Smith to the... Wow, this is a heavy wide receiver class, to be honest. J.C. Horn goes... The Bengals choose J.C. Horn over Jamar Chase. And the Skins get Jamar Chase. I am sick. How? Micah Parsons to the Ravens is kind of nasty. I don't know how you choose J.C. Horn over Jamar Chase. And I know, I get it, right? I get it. If you're in that draft, right, and you're the Bengals, you have Justin Jefferson, who's probably, even at this point in this franchise, one of the best receivers in the league. You got Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks. You got a great running back in Joe Mixon. You're not going to take another top receiver. You're just not. And J.C. Horn is still a good cornerback for the Panthers. But you just got to look at things realistically there. Sometimes you're looking at it as what's best for us and not what's a luxury pick. And going with Justin Jefferson there would have been a luxury pick. I mean, if you're going Jamar Chase, there would have been a luxury pick. If we're being honest, I don't love the idea as concept that they didn't just do it. I would have just did it. But that's also why I'm not a GM of a team. I'm not a GM of a team because I would have just did it. And that's where you done messed up. Who's the worst player in this draft? Tommy Doyle. Tight end. Oh, left tackle. Okay, I thought it was a tight end. Lordy, okay. I would have still went Jamar Chase. And that's not me being biased. I'm a Bengals fan, okay? Jamar Chase, he's the greatest receiver, bro. And Joe Burrow, there's no way. If Joe Burrow got Justin Jefferson, bro would have been clamoring, saying, I want Jamar Chase as well. Like, he would have been like, I want Chase as well. Give me Chase. Because then now you're just rebuilding the LSU roster. That's just now just rebuilding the whole LSU roster there. That's a miss. That's a missed opportunity. I feel like that's a huge missed opportunity right there for the Bengals to not get Jamar Chase. Like, do you need him? No. Realistically speaking, is it the smart pick? Probably not. But look, they could have went with Penny Sewell, but they went with Chase anyway. So, I guess, like, technically speaking, if you think about it, that, you know, everyone makes different choices in life. Dax Hill, who goes to the Bengals in real life. J.C. Horn is pretty nice, though. I would like to have J.C. Horn in the Bengals right now. But not over Jamar Chase. Not over Jamar Chase. That's not even a question. Jamar Chase is freaking amazing. best receiver in football. Him and Justin Jefferson, 1A, 1B. The Dolphins, for like the 4th straight year, are going to be picking number 1. And they had Joe Burrow on their docket, but they didn't go Joe Burrow. They went with Chase Young. They could have went Joe Shiesty. And we'd be talking about how they're Super Bowl MVPs every single year. CJ Mosley still in the Ravens is an interesting feat. Did I just say the best quarterback is Patrick Mahomes? Yeah. God bless the time before we had to deal with the Patrick Mahomes curse. And now in this franchise, the Bengals, Trevor Siemian. How did Trevor Siemian still end up with the Bengals? It's funny. Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the league. Oh, that's great. Alex Collins still killing it too. Interesting. Not what I expected, to be honest, but hey, I will take that. He is still killing it all the way down here. All right, let's see how this playoffs go. I mean, I literally took over the Seahawks, and every year now they're in the like playoffs or like competing. They just usually don't do much. And Super Bowls between the Seahawks and the Bills, because the Rams. You know what's funny? Chiefs are not a Super Bowl, or not a playoff team yet. And Patrick Mahomes just started, I guess, this year. Had a fantastic year, but still not a Super Bowl team. Still not a playoff team. Still waiting for greatness. Bills win their first Super Bowl. Shout out to the Bills. All right. Let's keep it rocking and rolling, boys. Let's go. So, Sauce Gardner went pick number 1, which I find absolutely crazy. Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutch, Kayvon Thibodeau. Bengals go with this guy, which I don't believe he ends up being that great in the NFL. Maybe, I don't know. Also, a side note, guys, I spent like $3,000 on audio equipment. So it's going to be coming this weekend. So a little side note, after this weekend, my audio, like sound and noise, will be perfect. Just a little side note. I made a huge investment on all my channels. That My Gamer 1, That My Gamer 2, Ryan Tim Tech, First Stop Bengals, and First Stop Reds for Cincinnati Reds. And yeah, huge investment on all the channels. So we're going to be killing it. And also, yeah. Anyway, so I just want to put that out there, because if I sound better and people are like, oh, hey, he sounds better, they probably aren't going to notice, because I don't think anyone's going to watch this far in this video. But if you do watch this far into an hour-long video, I appreciate you. 100%. Anyway, who is Mr. Irrelevant for this franchise, for this draft? This is Smith. We're going to go with Smith because I don't know how to say that man's name. And there's no way in heck I'm saying that man's name correctly. So, if I can't say that man's name correctly, his name is Smith, and that's it. So, this upcoming draft, I believe, 2023 draft. So, that is the Miles Murphy draft. Or as most people with a brain remembers, the Bryce Young, CJ Stroud draft. And then 2024 is the Caleb Williams draft. So, let's see who wins the Super Bowl this year. Patrick Mahomes, last year in this franchise, was dominant. So, my guess is the Chiefs have to be a Super Bowl team this year. And this is when the franchise goes to hell, because Patrick Mahomes takes over. Yup, Chiefs number 1. I hate this game. Oh, well, there goes the franchise. People say, like, there goes the neighborhood. There goes the franchise! There goes the franchise. And by the way, anyone who says what I just said, not about the neighborhood stuff, you can go to hell. You can go to hell. But that is a saying. I don't agree with that saying that people when people say it because it's a really bad saying toward people. So you can go to hell if you say that saying. But I'm using it as in the indirect positive way of there goes the franchise. Yep. That's a thing. You gotta love it. Mahomes is back in this franchise. And he is killing it. Donald's still dominant. Nice to see. Bill Belichick is still in the league, and he's still one of the best coaches. Lamar Jackson, Offensive Player of the Year. It all ends up with the same exact situation as real life. We're in the same situation as real life. Chiefs are dominant. Not Ravens, but Lamar Jackson, still a great quarterback. The Skins are the best team in the league now. Dan Snyder is still their owner. The Raiders still are in Oakland. They never moved to Las Vegas. And the Dolphins are 1-16. And arguably the worst team in the league for the 17th consecutive season. This is more what we can expect not this year, but back in 2022. The Browns were actually like a fringe playoff team. All right, let's see who wins the Super Bowl this year. And it's going to be, let's see, championship. This is the first year, by the way, the Seahawks did not make it in this franchise. So Seahawks were dominant every year. Ravens, Cowboys. All right. And it's going to be league history. Cowboys win. Nice. Cowboys getting the job done. All right, I'm skipping right to the draft here because every free agent class I've looked at has been awful. I skipped last year's. I didn't put it on the video, but it wasn't good. For some reason, these guys do not. What? Oh, he has to wait. Hold up. I thought you got a choice to retire. Wait, your coach can retire by himself? Wait, why can't I take over the Dolphins? I'm so confused. Why can I not take over the Dolphins? So your coach can retire by himself? Which is weird because Pete Carroll is literally just became the coach of the Raiders. So in real life, and in this franchise, they were like, yeah, he's too old. He's going to retire. Like, bro, in real life, this man just took over the Raiders. So I don't know if I agree with that. But anyway, Will Anderson Jr., first overall pick. First quarterback taken was Bryce Young at pick 9. CJ Stroud is a Cardinal. Where is Anthony Richardson picked? He goes to the Colts no matter what. But he goes in the second round, which I can respect a lot more for the Colts. I can respect that a lot more for the Indianapolis Colts. Will Levis goes to the Panthers. Like, Anthony Richardson's not a bust, okay? It's not a bust, but at the same time, definitely did go a little bit later down the line. So, yeah. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions of Anthony Richardson. I wouldn't say he's a bust, but he's definitely not doing as good as people thought he was. I don't know, though, because he came out of Florida, and he wasn't that good at Florida. He was a very raw talent. He wasn't the greatest, but he was a raw thrower of the football. He was a project. In every circumstance possible, Anthony Richardson was a project when he came out of college. People knew he would be a project. People knew that would be just how it was when he got to the NFL. And if he went to a good enough team to develop him, he could be an amazing player. He was a very good athletic player, but he just was a project. And I feel like for the most part, everyone knew that. So, I don't know. This narrative, everyone's like, oh, he's a bust, he sucks. He doesn't suck, but anyone, when they drafted him, they knew he was going to be like this. It wasn't going to be an overnight success. When you draft, CJ Stroud, for example. CJ Stroud, when you draft him, you knew he was going to be day one starter. He's day one starter, CJ Stroud. There was no way in heck Anthony Richardson was going to be a day one. He needs to develop, he needs to learn, he needs to grow, and that was just how it was. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I don't know why there was this perspective that he was going to be a day one guy. Like, day one, he was going to be the most amazing guy ever. He was a very raw talent, but he had all the intangibles to be great. The Dolphins, for the 15th season in this franchise, are the worst team in football. The Dolphins hate is crazy. Let me go to stats. Super Bowl MVP. It's not freaking Mahomes yet, which I love. That's a beautiful thing. DeShone Kizer is Offensive Player of the Year. Brownies, what are you doing? Tell me Saquon Barkley doesn't control that offense without telling me that Saquon Barkley doesn't control that offense. Like, that's Saquon. They're like, DeShone Kizer is there, yeah, that's because everyone has to worry about freaking Saquon Barkley, and DeShone Kizer can do whatever the heck he wants. Because you gotta worry about Saquon Barkley. Anyway, 19 touchdowns for Callaway. I feel like Callaway did play on our team in real life. Now, he played for the Bucks. If I remember correctly, Callaway was a Buccaneer. I think Bill Belichick retired in this franchise as well. So we have our last NFL draft, though, to go through, which is the 2024 draft. We're not doing 2025 in this video. You know, we'll see how that ends up turning out, but we're only doing the 2024. Just because, again, we don't know how the 2025 draft's going to go. We don't know who's going to be picked where or what's going to happen. So we'll do videos in the future when it gets closer to draft time for the 2025 draft. But let's see, divisional, championship, and for another season. So the Seahawks only made it to the Super Bowl in one of these, like in this franchise, one time. And they didn't really do much. But we have Jets Cowboys Super Bowl. That's like the biggest markets ever competing for a Super Bowl, which would be an interesting one. All right, so we got Cowboys beat the Jets. Lordy. All right, now let's get to our last draft of the video. It felt like just yesterday we started this video. Now we're getting into the last draft one today. Sim draft. Yes, sir. Draft recap. NFL. Caleb Williams, first overall pick to the Dolphins. Finally, the Dolphins learned their lesson. They finally learned their lesson of they probably should take a quarterback. They were trying to get to work with Tua, and they finally said, nope, Tua's not the guy. They're like, you know what? Tua just might not be the option to go with. Out of all the options available, Tua's just not the guy. Which, I think we all understood that a very long time ago. In this franchise, that is. Not in real life, in this franchise. Tua in real life, solid. Just the concussions are definitely a problem. Which last year, you know, reason why they didn't make the playoffs, concussions. If he would have played the whole season, a lot different situation. All right, who's Mr. Irrelevant? And TJ Tampa goes to the Bengals in the 6th. In the real life, he went to the Ravens in the 5th. Which, he actually did pretty okay for the Ravens. He's really good on the special teams, I think. So, who is Mr. Irrelevant? Is Leonard Taylor III. Nice. All right. Let's see. Who is our final Super Bowl of the year? I'm going to guess Chiefs-Eagles. Chiefs-Eagles would be the best way to end off this video. That would be the best way to end this video off is Chiefs-Eagles. Just because, again, how this has gone so far. Chiefs-Eagles would be a nice way to end this video off. If I go through a whole video and the Chiefs don't make it to the Super Bowl one time, that's kind of insane. I feel like that's like the most weirdest video I've ever done. They made the playoffs. After getting Mahomes, they made the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs this year. It's so weird because I think low-key nobody would hate the Chiefs then. Because the Chiefs, who had Patrick Mahomes, went 4-13. Did he not play? Hold up. Oh, he played. 35 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 4,400 yards. He played all right. He just didn't get to the playoffs. That's kind of insane. I am heavily surprised by that, but okay. Wow. He played, just didn't play that good. What am I doing? Linebacker, defensive back, kicker. There we go. Yeah, that's okay. Shout out to the fact that in this franchise, Patrick Mahomes is not awful. Like, awful to deal with. He's just an average Joe who is trying to make his way in the NFL. And he's a 0-time Super Bowl champion. It's a good franchise. I like this franchise. I gotta chill with the freaking Queefs. Alright, Chargers versus Giants Super Bowl. Like, this is fun, bro. Let's be honest, okay? Let me do these real fast, and then we're gonna look through these Super Bowls. I feel like these Super Bowls are fun, right? Giants versus Chargers. That's a fun Super Bowl. Jets Cowboys. Fun Super Bowl. Ravens Cowboys. Fun. Bills Seahawks. Rams Broncos. Falcons Ravens. Broncos Cowboys. Rams versus the Broncos. These are fun Super Bowls. So, tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one.